Hello, this is Joy News Today. A very good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Coming up in our headlines, cessation of collection of road tolls remains in full force despite a directive from Speaker of Parliament for the Roads Minister to reverse the decision. More as government issues statement explaining reasons for its actions while considering alternative ways of dealing with the situation. Parliament's Works and Housing Committee makes case for government to immediately provide a solution to the distraction tidal waves continue to cause communities along the coastline of the Volta region. And in the ongoing National Science and Maths Quiz quarterfinals, three-time champions St. Peter's SHS first to book a place at the semi-finals of this year's championship. We have the very latest. We also have details of all the headlines, including business, sport, and world news, all coming up in this hour. Thanks for staying with us. Now, the cessation of toll collections across the country remains in full force despite a directive from the Speaker of Parliament to the Roads and Highways Minister to withdraw an earlier directive to that effect. Following the Finance Minister's announcement on Wednesday, 17th November, on the floor of Parliament, which was tied to the approval of the fiscal policy, the Roads Minister, in a statement, directed for the proposed policy to take effect on the midnight of Thursday, November 18. Motorists have since the announcement enjoyed free tolls, but Speaker of Parliament has described the action of the Roads Ministry as a breach of the law. He charged the minister to immediately reverse the directive.
I can see the majority leader is so agitated that I see his body gyrations. Is there something that the Speaker has wrongly stated that you want to draw his attention to? Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not agitated. I was following your own statement, and I thought that on this occasion, the Speaker, with the greatest respect, cannot issue directive on his own to the Minister. You cannot. It should be a decision of the House, that the House takes exception to this. And that, because this is not a ruling. Please, a directive, can you please listen? A directive is not a ruling. A directive, as the Speaker is saying, is not a ruling. So I'm just saying that if it's a decision of the House that we want to convey to the Minister, it should be so stated. But when the Speaker says that it is my directive, Mr. Speaker, I thought, with the greatest respect, there's something wrong with it. But I'm not challenging what you are saying.
This is a statement. This is a statement made by a member after the indulgence of the House and the leave of a Speaker. It's not a matter that has been opened up for debate for the House to take a decision. A matter opened up for comments which has been made by members. There have not been consensus on the matter. But I have taken the view, after listening to your comments and knowing what the law is, have stated my position, and based on my position, I'm giving a directive. It is not a decision of the House. I've not said it's a decision of the House, because the House has not reached any decision. So it's for us to draw his attention and tell him that you have no such authority. In spite of all the legal and linguistic gymnastics that have been displayed, it is very clear that what the minister sought to do, he has no such authority to do that. It's not a matter of operationalization of the law. There is no such law for him to operationalize. There is no such law. The law we have now has imposed the fees that they have been collecting. So it's being implemented. It's not like it's something you are going to now start. And so I want to clearly direct that what the minister has released is complete brutum fulmin. It means it's an empty boast. It has no effect. If it is true,
well, in a response to the Speaker, however, the Roads Ministry explained that the decision to cease collection of tolls was as a result of attacks and near fisticuffs between toll booth attendants and motorists minutes after the Finance Minister's announcement in Parliament. He also explains that the ministry will ensure that the right thing is done. I'm bringing you details of that statement that has been issued. And it says clarification on cessation of road and bridge tolls nationwide following the presentation of the 2022 budget statement and economic policy of government by the Honorable Minister of Finance on behalf of His Excellency the President of the Republic. On Wednesday, November 17, the Ministry of Roads and Highways directed the cessation of the collection of road and bridge tolls effective 12 a.m. on Thursday, November 18. The ministry is aware that the statement on the road and bridge tolls by the Minister of Finance as captured under paragraph 306 of the 2022 budget was to the effect that the cessation will be triggered immediately after Parliament approves the budget. Unfortunately, the Minister of Finance's statement either got misunderstood or misinterpreted by some motorists, as many of them deemed the statement as having immediate effect and therefore decided not to pay the road and bridge tolls. The insistence of the toll collectors to have the tolls paid caused serious confusion and in some cases resulted in fisticuffs and damage to lives and property. It was to avert further unfortunate incidents that the ministry intervened by issuing the directive. It goes on to say the ministry wished to assure that the action taken was to suspend the operationalization of the collection of the tolls and not to suspend the law. The ministry is aware of Parliament's role in the imposition of taxes and the fixing of levies and charges, and in the fullness of time, the appropriate thing would be done. And this statement issued by the Public Affairs Unit of the Ministry of Roads and Highways. What must be noted, though, is that the earlier statement issued by the ministry asking for persons not to pay tolls was signed by the substantive minister there at the ministry. Let's still stay in Parliament, but away from toll-related issues. Parliament's Works and Housing Committee is making a strong case for government to immediately provide a solution to the perennial tidal waves that continue to pound some communities along the coastline of the Volta region. After touring some of the affected communities with members of the committee, the chairman, Isaac Esiama, described the situation as a national emergency that requires a national attention.
And this office for an immediate action to be taken. This calls for a national emergency. I mean, for me, it's a national emergency, and that an action needs to be taken quickly. From all the three places we visited today, this place seems to be the hardest hit by this tidal wave, and so therefore we need to quickly act on it. As I said, Parliament has sent us. Our job is to make the findings, the observations, the recommendations to Parliament for action to be taken on those recommendations. Immediate action, of course. So we are going to write a comprehensive report that covers all that we've seen and if observed from this trip. And it's been a wonderful experience for some of us. Driving through this sandy place, you could all observe the difficulty we have to go through. So I can assure you, honorable members that joined us from these communities, that this committee is concerned about the plight of your people, or the people of Ghana. We are all Ghanaians. We are going to do whatever it takes to ensure that it receives a national priority, a national attention. That is what we can assure you. So immediately we are going to put up a comprehensive report
We head over to the Ashanti region now, and road safety campaigners in that region have expressed concern about the recent increase in road crashes. Between January and October 2021, 470 persons have died in road accidents in the region. This figure shows a 12% increase over the same period last year. Ashanti Regional Director of the National Road Safety Authority, Hajia Redru, spoke at a road safety forum organized by the Men's Fellowship of the Apostolic Church of Ghana, from where Mahmoud Mohammed put together this report.
2,800 road accidents occurred in the Ashanti region since the beginning of the year. According to the National Road Safety Authority, the figure is one of the highest in recent times. Ms. Simbiat Guerodu is Ashanti Regional Director.
About 470 people have lost their lives in the Ashanti region. And so there's a need for all and sundry, for all stakeholders to come together to put our hands on deck to ensure that our drivers, our riders, our passengers, our pedestrians abide by the road traffic regulations, and that the trains are reversed, and then we have safety on our roads.
Violation of road safety regulations is one of the main causes of accidents. That is why the Men's Fellowship of the Apostolic Church Ghana has decided to embark on a road safety campaign to reduce road accidents. The latest campaign by the church took place at Obuasi and surrounding areas. Members of the Apostolic Church Men's Fellowship educated drivers on the need to obey road safety regulations.
Launched its flagship program, Stay Alive. This is to ensure that our motorists, our road users comply to basic road safety practices and then to the road traffic regulations. And so if you ask about the road traffic situation in the Ashanti region, that is what is happening.
Road users have been urged to be disciplined on the road. Here is Apostle Dr. Samuel Tete Walker, National Men's Superintendent of the Apostolic Church Ghana.
Once they are driving and we are getting to the end of the year, Christmas era, it's our plea that they will drive safe. And that is why our slogan comes out clearly. Susuko na unkwa ehunya.
I'm going to sit down with DVLA as well as Ghana Road Safety Authority, and then because they can implement the powers given to them, because we are to advise, we are to talk to the drivers, but there are certain areas that the MTTD, the Road Safety Authority and the DVLA has to enforce.
To advise that research has shown that Christmas time is the peak of the accident season, and so drivers, you see, when the road is not good, when the vehicle is not good, but you are able to adhere to the rules and regulations, the impact of the accident will not be as grievous as it seems to be. We are all collectively involved in solving road accidents.
Some drivers, however, attribute accidents to poor road markings, among others. They want urgent attention at the situation. A report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
Back in Accra, scores of youth and traditional leaders of Nungwa besieged the premises of the newly built Oka Deco on the Spintex Road in an attempt to stop the completion and opening of the complex, claiming the land belongs to them and that the owners of the complex had not sought permission from the traditional rulers to put up the structure. The traditional rulers told Joy News that despite having secured an injunction in May this year, the construction works on the complex continued. Ni Afote Bese the Sixth spoke on behalf of the traditional authorities of Nungwa.
All the lands laying from the Nungwa beach to, what do you call it, Oyibi, is all within the Nungwa enclaves. And it's under the Nungwa Paramount Chief. So all the divisions have their right to make sure all the lands that have been worked on, it's been, they have a proper account to account for the stool or the Paramount Chief as well. So in case anybody is working on any land that is having any dubious document, or we don't have any clear mind or not, we need to check and then find out exactly what is within the land system or the document.
How do you believe you've reached out to them? What have they been telling you?
Come again?
You've reached out to them. What have they been telling you?
Several times, no, they're not making their mind, or they're not ready to come and see the stool. Yes, because anybody, when the traditional drum, when it's being beaten, there's a proverb. The one who understands your rhythm actually shows the signs and then dance accordingly. You understand? So if you are telling them there's an issue, they should come and see the stool. Several times, and they don't give that respect to the stool, then we need to agitate. The court has given an injunction from May, and then an interrogatory injunction too has been issued to them. They don't even give a damn, so to speak. They don't respect the authority, and they don't respect the laws of the country. You understand? So we want to know who exactly what we've heard is there are some people behind them, and any police officer, any commander doesn't own any land here. You understand? Every land belongs to a particular stool. We want them to abide by the laws of the country. Since an injunction has been put on them, they need to stop the work, come to the stool for us to sit and then deliberate. If it speaks right for us to give them the land back, we will do so. Because every town or every chief needs a development in his town. Understand? But it needs to be passed through the proper ways and means. You can't just pass on any dubious means and come and acquire a land from any particular entity.
Well, the police intervened in this matter. They say they responded to an anonymous intelligence and they managed to disperse the angry crowd and schedule a meeting between both parties. Here's Director of Operations, Accra Region ACP Isaac Kojo Asante.
The only thing we told them was to appeal to their conscience. If they have a problem, there are ways of solving the problem. So tomorrow we are asking them to be with our regional commander so that he will delve into whatever problem that might have brought this. Then he who has the right to solve their problem, we will ask them to go and see the person. But you yourself, you have seen the number of police personnel here. This is not something that is above us. But you know, sometimes when you can use your tongue, you can use your mouth to negotiate. You don't use the gun or rifle to negotiate. And this is exactly what we've done. And I think we need to be applauded and appreciated for that. Now you can see that they've almost left the place. As I said earlier, we've spoken to them. They should come and see the regional commander and sit down. Both sides will come and see the regional commander. If it is above the regional commander, he may push it to the national headquarters. If he can also do that with the understanding of the two, then we will push them. If it has to go to court, we'll go to court. Just appealing to their conscience, because we don't know what they want. It could be that what these people want, these people can easily offer. So why do you have to come and even spoil property before you ask for whatever you want? We don't know. Maybe they are also behind the building over there waiting for us to go. And if we leave, they will come back. So for now, yeah, we'll reduce the number, but we'll be here for some time, maybe for the next 1 week, while the negotiation is going on. Yes, I think we all want peace, and this is what police has to do to bring peace.
The Inspector General of Police has announced his vision to transform the Ghana Police Service into the most respected institution in the country. He's assured the service would continue to serve the citizenry and ensure their safety. He was speaking at the 5th Volta Trade Investment Fair 2021 Young Entrepreneurs Breakfast Meeting in Ho.
And I want to say about 4 things quickly without explaining. The first one is the fact that we know that almost every Ghanaian, young or old, male or female, may have their own experiences about us as an institution, either at the individual level or at the institutional level. We know that not all the stories are pleasant. So I want to give you assurance that we are cutting a new path, and that path that we are going for, we want to be the most respected institution in the country. and a reference point for the rest of Africa and beyond. We know we can do it because we have the will, and whenever there is a will, there will be a way. We therefore want to plead with you not to judge us by our history. We are leaving that chapter close, and in fact, we will look at it more of a book than a chapter. So that book is withdrawn from the shelf, and we are replacing it with a new one. A book that would bring us to the level that all of you will know that, yes, Ghana Police Service has arrived at a destination where you yourself will be proud of, and we will promise you that. Secondly, the issue was said about the fact that I've been there since I came, a few things have happened. I want to assure you that it is not about me. It's about my colleagues at the management level and across the country at all ranks. They have given me that support and cooperation for us to think together and work together to change the paradigm of the police in this country. And therefore, I want you to give it out to them, those who are here and those who are out. Third, I can't wait for the day that my name will no more be mentioned, and the institution will override my name, in the sense that it is not about an individual, it's about an institution. Policing started in this country 1831, and since then, a lot of people have come and gone. The institution is still surviving. What it means is that you cannot try to be bigger than the institution you form. But when
Despite widespread public concerns regarding government's new taxation approach, Deputy Finance Minister John Kuma maintains Ghanaians must accept the new policy measures. He explains it will ensure an effective revenue stream for government to meet its financial obligations of constructing more roads, as well as maintaining and introducing new programs to create jobs. The Finance Minister on Wednesday announced the introduction of 1.75% levy on mobile money transactions exceeding 100 Ghana cedis, while road tolls were scrapped. This has been met with some resistance from a section of Ghanaians. Mr. Kuma has been addressing some of the concerns at a news conference organized by the NPP.
Now, the assurance that many people have expressed concern that, yes, we are not against paying this tax, but we want to hear from government that when we pay this 1.75 levy, we want to see how government is going to apply these levies to our roads and give jobs to young people. And I want to, on behalf of government, give you that firm assurance that this road toll, this e-levy that we are replacing, we are going to see aggressive road construction in this country. Because the road toll was giving us 78 million, I've told you. This levy is giving us about 6.9 billion in a year. So imagine when contractors bring their certificates, it takes a long while and government is not able to pay them. So they don't go back to work. Where is the revenues? When we all accept this, what it will mean is that contractors can be paid on time and more roads can be constructed for our country. So we need your support. I have told you about the Youth Start and how young people are being addressed in terms of their financing opportunities to create their own jobs in this country. And so we strongly believe that when you support government in this fight or in this request, government will reciprocate by applying these resources to the productive centers of our economy and make sure that we improve the welfare of our citizens.
And John Kuma has also been given additional details on the new e-levy.
We have also zero-rated tolls on all public roads and bridges in Ghana. All tolling points will be removed. In fact, not will be removed, they have already been removed. And as we speak, the road minister, in his capacity as the road minister, and under the authority of the Tolls Act, the 1973 Act, NRCD Act 153, okay, under that authority and under the 1992 Constitution, if you read Article 297 Clause D, it gives the road minister the authority to make such administrative decisions. And please, let's make it clear. The road minister did not repeal the law. He only took administrative decision to suspend the collection of the road toll. He will follow up to Parliament if he wants to revoke or repeal the law. So let's get it clear. It is an administrative decision to suspend the collection of the road toll. And I've stated that the law allows him, the Constitution permits him as a Minister for Road to do that. And he has done nothing wrong in law by taking those steps.
So Deputy Finance Minister John Kumar there rather talking about the Roads Minister's power to suspend the collection of road tolls. This is Joy News Today. We've got more stories to share with you. Stay with us.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. Government Statistician Professor Samuel Kobnenim has expressed confidence that the country is moving steadily to improve data collection through the use of digital means. According to him, the old ways of collecting data have made it difficult for relevant agencies to collate and analyze data in their respective operations. Professor Nim believes the country is on the right path to transition into a better way of data collection. He spoke to Joy Business after addressing this year's African Statistics Week in Accra. Here's a report.
The economy has been top on the agenda for this year's African Statistics Week celebration in Ghana and other parts of the continent. Celebrating the event under the theme, Modernizing National Statistical Systems to Support Social Cultural Development in Africa, member countries are expected to improve the living condition of citizens through quality data. In the case of Ghana, the traditional ways of collecting data has been a challenge for the Ghana Statistical Service until recently when it began to use technology in its operations. Here's the government statistician, Professor Samuel Inim.
So here we need to be very careful with the use of the relationship between census, which is traditional data source, and big data, which is a non-traditional data source. Indeed, within the non-traditional data source, we have different dimensions. And moving forward as a country, we keep saying that it's too early to move away from traditional data sources, that is censuses and surveys. The simple reason is that these non-traditional data sources ride on the back of technology mainly, and we don't have the technological infrastructure and the needed support systems for us to move into these non-traditional data sources. So the census that we've done, we keep saying that it is going to provide a base for us to integrate it properly into the non-traditional data sources. And what we mean by that as statistical services, 2021 we've done a traditional census. Moving into 2031, what we are thinking about is a hybrid between traditional and non-traditional census.
The Australian ambassador to Ghana, Gregory Andrews, has assured that his country will support Ghana in transitioning to more innovative means of collecting data.
We think that's a great opportunity for Ghana, but also for West Africa. Digital Earth Africa has huge potential for Ghana and the region on climate change impacts. I was watching the news about the impacts of the tidal waves in the Volta region, and I've seen firsthand the erosion and rising sea level impacts. So Digital Earth Africa can really help the government of Ghana and all governments monitor and deal with and plan for.
Now, Pumasidor Ghana Limited has presented some of its products to victims of the tidal waves devastation along the coast of the Gulf of Guinea in the Anglor District, Kita and Ketu South municipalities. There is more in the following report.
A recent tidal wave that swept through some sections of Ghana's coast in the Volta region left about 3,000 residents homeless in the Anglor District, Keta and Ketu South municipalities. Over 200 households in Agaveji, Salakope, Amuchinu, Kejikope, Abutiakope, Fuveme, Jita, Agbeledume, among other communities, were affected by the wave which occurred over a week ago. The victims are forced to sleep in the open, exposing them to unfavorable conditions. Learning of the plight of the victims, Promasidor Ghana Limited decided to support the affected persons with their products. The items donated included cowbell milk, Onga food seasoning, Yum Vita infant cereal, books, pencils, bowls, among others. Gideon Kodo is the public relations officer of Promasidor Ghana Limited.
Yeah, so the donation we're doing is about 120,000 Ghana cedis worth of product that we are giving to the 3 communities that have been, the 3 districts that have been affected. And we are hoping, like I said earlier on, that this help in keeping up the livelihood of the indigents who have lost their homes. There are people whose jobs have been lost because of this. And we see how the whole situation unfolds, and if there are other forms of support that we can provide in the future, of course we would table that discussion and proceed from there. I mean, it's quite unfortunate. I mean, it's quite unfortunate that this has happened, but then again, sometimes it's an act of nature. You're unable to control some of these things. Of course, there are some activities that might lead to it, but we just pray for the best. I think at this very moment, it's a matter of all needed stakeholders coming together on one single table and seeing the lasting solution to this problem, and that is what we look forward to as a business.
The Keta Municipal Chief Executive, Emmanuel Gemega, who received the items on behalf of the victims, appreciated the gesture and appealed for more.
So all these stakeholders take part in the distribution process to allow for transparency and to be sure that the items get to the actual people who deserve to receive them. So this is the structure. So you are welcome. We are most grateful. Be rest assured that the things shall get to the deserved persons. And we thank you. The things are many, but those of my children and my colleagues' children who were affected by this disaster, there are so many. So though your items are many, we still request for more, because for now we are tagging ourselves, we are taking another name, adding another name to our name, and the other name is Oliver Twist. Why we want more is that, apart from the tidal wave from the sea, in the case of Keta, the water, the lagoon, is once the sea is receding, the lagoon is rising. As we speak now, our brothers at Seva have their road cut. They are difficult to reach now.
Togbe Yado, the first of Abuja Copper in Keta, thanked Promasidor Ghana Limited for the donations on behalf of the affected residents. Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News, Keta.
Well, that's all in business. My name is Darryl Kwao. There's more to come after this break. Good afternoon. Time now for sports on Joy News today with me, Muftaru Nabila Abdullahi. President of the Ghana Football Association, Kurt Okreku, expressed CAF President Dr. Patrice Motsepe not to take sides in the impending match fixing and match manipulation protest filed to FIFA by the South African Football Association. According to him, SAFA were ill-prepared and are just being sore losers.
The South Africans keep shifting goalposts from being robbed by the referee to the match being manipulated by external or third parties. Or the match being played by ball boys. I mean, it's important somebody will tell Danny, my good friend, that he must speak the truth to the South African people to understand that their team, per their own judgment, is not good enough to make it to the Mundial. That's the truth. They were not confident in themselves. Haven't we had quotations from their head coach? Haven't we? Did South Africa not play against Zimbabwe when they should have scored 4-0? To be comfortable in Ghana when they know that they've never won in Ghana? How would they even dream that they can match up against the Black Stars in Ghana? How is that possible? It's important that Danny, my good friend, is a very good friend. It's important that he's honest to accept that on the day, over the length of the competition, the Black Stars were by far the best team in the group. The Black Stars dominated the Bafana. Mother God was so good to South Africa on that day because you could see clearly the number of balls that should have entered the net. The number of penalty appeals that should have been taken by the referee also for Ghana. South Africa must not be bad losers. They must not be sour losers. They must understand that they didn't plan enough, they didn't play well enough, they didn't win enough games, for which reason they were not good enough against our gallant Black Stars. Let's clap for the Black Stars. And I want to assure everybody in this country that for Danny Jordan to speak against the president of our land is most unfortunate. For Danny Jordan to say that the result of the game will have socioeconomic impact on Ghana, same could be applicable to the Republic of South Africa. Since when did South Africa become a superpower over Ghana in football? Are we kidding? Are we kidding here? Why should the Republic of South Africa, especially the SAFA, think that they can manipulate to get 2 legs into the Mundial? This will not happen. Because Ghana will defend our right to the maximum. And I want to tell Danny Jordan that he cannot drag the president of the Confederation of African Football into this. Musepe is the president of CAF, he's not the president of SAFA. He doesn't call the shots as SAFA. We voted for Musepe to represent a truly democratic African Confederation football and not to take sides. And for Musepe that I have known him, will never take sides. And I don't expect him to take sides. Again, our country and your FA will defend our own.
There is another battle between Ghana and South Africa, but this time it is not throwing punches in the media or a battle on the pitch between the national teams of the two countries. It is a tie between clubs from the two nations that have dominated the airwaves since Sunday. Hazaka Ladies of Ghana lock horns with Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa in the final of the maiden edition of the CAF Women's Champions League. Two key players for the Ghanaian champions, skipper Janet Ejui and forward Evelyn Bedu, are confident of lifting the trophy against the South African side, who are yet to concede a goal in the competition.
We are very prepared. We are ready, so we are very prepared. In this competition, they are here to concede, and we know how they play. And this is Azakes, so we are ready for any team. I know it's going to be a tough game, but I know we are winning. As my captain just said, I'm not going to predict too much. We are going to win.
And the Ghana Premier League is in match day 4 already. We'll bring you the fixtures, and it starts later this evening when Brecum Chelsea comes up against Kim Faisal. On Saturday, Asante Kotoko will play 11 Wonders. That game will go to be under floodlight. Ediana Stars will come up against RTU. Accra Lions will host Bechem United. On Sunday, Great Olympics will host Dreams FC. Wafa will play Legon Cities. Emina Sharks will come up against Bibiani Gold Stars. Ashanti Gold will sit at home against Accra House of Oak, who are winless in 3 matches since the commencement of the new football season. Midiama SC, who fired their coach just 2 days ago, will be hosting Kerala United. And a fixture expected to dominate the headlines because of what transpired last season. That is your sport for now, but we'll have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. I am Muftau Nabila Abdullahi.
Well, thank you so much for your company here on Joy News. Today we've got more news on myjoyonline.com.